Hey third graders, this is Mr. Roney from the Syracuse Academy of Science and Citizenship, and today we've got a math lesson, Ready Lesson 11, about solving one-step division and multiplication problems. So let's get right into it. So last time we worked together, we talked about the differences between division and multiplication, how they're connected, and when to decide when to use each one, because they are so similar. Today what we're going to do is we're going to write our own word problem. Then we're going to solve our own word problem using a couple different strategies. And then we're going to compare those strategies and decide which one works best for this situation. So, let's get started. So it says, let's make sense of the problem. What is this problem about? What are we trying to find out? And what information is important? Well, guess what? We don't have a word problem yet. All we have is this picture. So, how do we make a word problem out of this picture to the right? Obviously, we have a lot of baseballs. And we have an array. And arrays usually mean we either have a multiplication or division word problem. So the first thing I want to do is count how many rows and count how many columns. Remember, rows go side to side, and columns go up and down. So let's count the rows first. One row, 2 row, 3 rows, 4 rows, and 5 rows. I'm going to move my chair up a little bit because I'm excited about math. Okay, so we got 5 rows. Now let's see how many columns we have, and you can start counting if you're ready. 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 columns. So I'm going to remind us that we have 8 columns by writing it up there. Now we have to create a word problem out of this. And we know it's either going to be multiplication or division. So let's look at what our options are. We either know it's going to be, actually I'm going to do this down here. We know it's either going to be 8 times 5. Could be 5 times 8. It could be something divided by 5 equals 8. Or it could be something divided by 8 equals 5. And if it's confusing to you where I got that, those are basically our multiplication and division fact family for the numbers 5 and 8. So maybe you can write your own problem, and you can do that if you want. Let me show you what problem I came up with to symbolize 5 and 8. And I actually covered up my own writing here. So let me erase it for you. Oops. There. Okay, so my word problem says, during warm-ups at baseball practice, each player gets an equal amount of pitches to hit during warm-ups. There are 8 batters, and I always circle the numbers when I'm doing word problems. Probably a good idea for you to do that too. And each batter gets 5 warm-up pitches. How many pitches are thrown during warm-ups? And really what it should say at the end of this is how many pitches are thrown total if we have 8 batters and each batter gets 5 pitches thrown to them. Let's go to the next slide where we can start solving this problem. So think about how you would solve this problem. And what I'll do right now is I'll have you guys pause the video and try this problem on your own. Okay? So hit that pause button, keep this up so you can see it, and see if you can solve this problem. How many pitches are thrown during warm-ups total? So try to figure out if it's multiplication or division, how you know that, and then how you'd solve it. Pause the video and meet me back here in a second, and we'll talk about some different ways we can approach this. So, how'd you do? Were you able to solve the problem? Or were you able to figure out whether it was multiplication or division? Let's check out what I did and how I would solve this problem. So, here's the word problem again. And let me show you how I would do it. So during warm-ups, each player gets an equal amount of pitches to hit. That's important. There are 8 batters on the team, and each batter gets 5 warm-up pitches. So here's what I would do. And I would draw a picture. And I'm going to draw 8 people, basically. So the reason I did all 8 people here is because we have 8 different batters. Now, each one of these batters gets 5 pitches each. 5 here, 5 there, 5 there, 5 there, 5 there, 5, 5, 5. And the question is, how many pitches total are thrown? So guess what? Whenever we're looking for a total number and we're adding up a bunch of equal groups, it's going to be multiplication. So our multiplication problem is 8 batters times 5 pitches equals how many? And since we have 5 in our multiplication problem, that means we can skip count by 5s in order to solve the problem. So here's how I would do it. I would skip count by 5s 8 different times to represent the 5 pitches that each batter gets. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Guess what? 40 pitches. Remember, we always got to label our answer. 40 pitches were thrown. So that's not the only way to do it, but I love skip counting by 5s. Let me show you another quick way that we can do this same problem. Another way we can do this is to use a number line to keep track while we're skip counting by 5s. So this is basically the same strategy, it's just representing it in a different way. That might be a little easier to keep track of. So I created a number line starting at 0, going all the way up to 45. Okay, I don't know what the answer is yet. And what I will do is, for every batter, I'll jump 5. So the first batter, we know, gets 5 pitches. We'll label that batter number 1. That's our first jump. The second batter gets 5 more pitches. So far, 10 pitches have been thrown. Our third batter gets 5 more pitches. Total, we have 15 pitches. And then you just keep skipping. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The fourth batter, the fifth batter, the sixth batter, the seventh batter, and the 8th batter, they all get 5 pitches each. And then, total, we have 40 pitches. So we get the same exact answer, we just keep track of it on a number line so we don't mess up. Now you might be tempted to keep going down the number line, but remember, we only have 8 batters. That's as big as our team is. We don't need to go any further than that. So our answer here, using the number line, is still 40 pitches. So those were some examples of when you can use the picture and the number line strategy to solve a word problem. And I really like those 2 strategies. And you can skip count with both of them. So let's take a look at 3 more small problems and see if we can figure out whether we use multiplication or division, and then how to solve them. So let's take a look at problem 1 here. There are 6 bananas in each bunch. How many bananas are in 2 bunches? Let's think about that. How many bananas are in 2 bunches? Basically, that's asking us how many bananas do we have all together? If there are 6 bananas in each bunch, and we have 2 bunches, how many do we have all together? That sounds like a multiplication problem. That's right, because we're taking smaller groups and we're putting them all into one big group and counting how many. So our multiplication equation for this would be 6 times 2. Now for this you could use a number line, or you could use a picture. I think I like the picture a little better. And they actually give us a picture down here. So let's draw our two bunches, and we'll represent those as circles. And in each bunch, we put 6 dots to represent each banana. 1 banana, 2 bananas, 3 bananas, 4 bananas, 5, and 6. So that's one bunch. Now let's do the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Guess what? We can just add these together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if you didn't know how to do 6 times 2 in your head, you can still get the answer just by counting the picture. So 12 bananas. Let's do problem 2. 2 bunches have a total of 12 bananas. If each bunch has the same number of bananas, how many bananas are in each bunch? So this sounds like we're going from a big number to a smaller number, which means it's probably going to be, you got it, division. So let's take 12 total bananas that we started with, and let's divide them back into 2 groups again. 12 divided by 2. And for this one, we can still use pictures. So 12 bananas total. And I'm going to actually move down here to show you the pictures because we're running out of room. So 12. Let's alternate between the bunches. Let's put 1 banana here, another banana here, 3, 4, and then count all the way to 12. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I kind of alternated and put 1 banana in each bunch until I ran out. How many bananas are in each bunch? Guess what we can do here? Just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's check the other one just to make sure there's the same amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Guess what? 6 bananas in each bunch. Okay, one more problem here, problem number 3. If each bunch has 6 bananas, if there are 12 bananas, how many bunches are there? This is the same problem. It's just configured or kind of worked in a different way. So we know each bunch, and we can even keep our same picture. Each bunch has 6 bananas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's saying if there are 12 bananas, how many bunches are there? Remember, each circle represents our bunch. Let's make sure we have 12 bananas in this picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Looks like we have another division problem here. 12 bananas in groups of 6. So divided into groups of 6 equals how many? 1, 2. Looks like we have 2 bunches. 12 divided by 6 equals 2. And if you notice, these are all in the same fact family. So there you have it. Really what you should do is label your answers here. I don't have enough room to really label them, but let me just show you what that would look like. So 2 bunches, I would say here. And up there, I would say 6 bananas. Just to make sure the person who's reading my answers knows what I'm talking about. So there we go. We got some good practice figuring out whether the problem was asking a multiplication or division problem and what sentence worked best for solving those. So clearly I like the drawing the picture strategy for the banana problems, but I think the number line strategy would work pretty well too. So when you're practicing these problems, flip back and forth between both and see what one works better for you. They both should work most of the time. So I'm going to end it here, and I will see you all later for some more multiplication and division practice. Right now, head to the Google Forms or the Seesaw assignment that you have and try out your new multiplication and division skills. Keep practicing, everybody. We're going to get better at this every day. Have a good one.